Okay, hello, my name's Max, working on fall 2013, midterm 2, problem 2b. It's asking us to write the letter of the environment diagram that would result from executing each code snippet below just after starting Python. The first blank is filled in for you. Okay, so two different snippets may result in the same environment diagram. If none of the environment diagrams are correct, write N. Okay, right, so here I would actually take out a piece of scratch paper and I would work out each of these environment diagrams on your own and then use this to check your answers, because it's easy to sort of get lost in all these arrows. So I'd first build an environment diagram and then come back to these. Okay, so I'm just going to try and fit this up here in this corner. So S, we have S is equal to a list. So you see this, we run into our first bracket. That means create a new list. And then the first element of this list is another list, which is two elements 1 and 2. Okay, and now we have a new variable t, which is going to point to S, but the first element of S, which is this right here. Does this make sense? Because this is element 0 of S, and then element 0 of S contains another list that has element 0 and 1. Okay. So now T1 is going to equal a new list. This list constructor means make a new list that has the elements of S in it. Okay, so let's make a new list, and it's going to have the elements of S in it. S only has one element. I'm going to point this here, and now we're going to overwrite this value 2 and point this here. Okay. So now that we've made this environment diagram, let's check to see whether or not any of these are right. A, not right. By A, it's just pointing to two separate lists. B, S is pointing to a list. This is looking promising, right? And that is pointing to the list 1 and 2. This looks right. This looks right. What's wrong here? Okay, so T here, though, is pointing to a new list that then has the first element S. So this would be what would happen if we instead had T equals S, right? But because T equals list S or something, right? So if we made a new list and then we filled it with the elements of S, then this is what we would get. But so this isn't right for this particular example. Here, T is not pointing to S. This would happen if T equals S. That's not happening here. This is not right. We have too many lists in the way. This is not right because 2 is still as is, 2 is still as is here, so these are right. This is S is pointing to some list, which is pointing in its first element or its 0th element to a new list that has 1. This looks exactly like the diagram we've drawn up here, so it looks like F is going to be our answer for this. Okay, great, so I'm going to erase this. Take a look at this. I'm going to erase it to work on the next problem. All right, okay, so now same sort of deal. We have S, it's equal to a list that has a single element. That's another list, 1 and 2. And now T, and now here this looks to be exactly what we were talking about earlier. T points to S, so that's actually pointing to this list here. And now we say T0, T is S, so T0 is equal to 1, 2. And we're looking at the first element, and we're making it into list S, which is what we had before, right? So we're going to make a new list, which has all the elements of S in it. Points back here. This T01 is going to point up to this new list. So we get this cycle. And so this looks exactly like what we had here, right? Which is what I was saying as we were going through this. So let's see if anything else works. Anything with two lists must not be right. With T pointing to something other than S must not be right, so that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. This is the only one in which T points to S, the same value that S evaluates to, so we're going to have C down here. Take a look at this. Okay, moving on. All right. Now let's see what happens here. So S is equal to 1, 2. So S points to the list 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Same thing as before. S is equal to a new list that has as its first element 1, 2. Okay. T is equal to a copy of that list. All right, so now we're going to say T is equal to a list, a new list that has each of the elements. So T is equal to a new list that is going to be comprised of the elements of S. So the elements of S is just this, so we have a new list here. Now T0 is this, is going to be equal to a list of S. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say T0 is this, and it originally points to this, and we want it to be equal to list S. So this box should instead point to a new list that is comprised of all of the elements of S, which is this again. So we're going to make another box in between the elements of S that we had before. So we can get something that looks like this. There's only one thing that looks like that, and that's D. All right, so that's 2B. Please, this is a little confusing. There's a lot of list constructors. It relies on you understanding what this is and the fact that each of these lists are pointing to sort of references in memory of this list. So if you have questions about this, please, please, please ask on Piazza, ask in the comments below, and we'll get them sorted out. Okay. Thanks for watching.